Hi guys, welcome back to another video. What do we have today? We have an older beast, which is just a 1.9 diesel Opel Vivaro, Vauxhall Vivaro, Renault Trafic, whatever we want to call it. And what she's doing is we have no check engine light on the dash, but if I just pull in here and show, we have absolutely no power whatsoever. So I'm pressing the throttle. It will go as far as 3000 RPM, but then if I put it into gear to try and take off, that is it. Like, she's not. I'm downhill now, and I'm lucky to be able to get second gear. That is it. I'm foot wide open throttle at this point in time. I am foot to the floor, and we're pulling off because we're running down a hill 40 kilometers, but I can get no more out of this thing. I'm actually lucky to be able to drive this thing around the yard, to the point that I was fearful there when I went to turn on the road because I couldn't actually take off safely, dare we say. So no fault. I actually do. Apologies. I have, in engine management, I have glow plug control device. So I see here P038, P038, glow device, general circuit error, glow device, open circuit. That is going to be 4 glow plugs most likely on in this. It isn't a yoke that would have gotten a load of TLC, and the long and short of it is I don't think the glow plugs are causing us any problems. Now I'm going to show you where we're at and what is going on. I'll spin the camera around. Initially, the customer came to us and he had no power whatsoever and he had a whole load of lights on in the dash. Stop, ABS, little, I don't know what you call that icon there. Little car with a spanner symbol. And this thing, as I said there, wouldn't pull the socks of a dead cat. Now, what I don't know what we had done was, we went in, had a look at our ABS related problem. We had an ABS speed sensor that was at the rubbing off a wheel, but with no communication with our ABS module. So we advised, because man didn't want to spend much money on this thing, we advised replacing this yoke and just seeing what happened. We replaced it, still no communication, and lo and behold, when we went looking to see what the problem was, inside in our ABS module, that's what we had. A world of green crusties, okay? To the point that pins were even after breaking off, sorry, if I can get this in hand, pins were after breaking off from the module and being left in the block connector, okay? So that was in a bad state. What I done is I bought a module and I bought a wiring harness for it. So our ABS module has been taken out of another vehicle, and just fitted directly into this car. So at this point in time, I'm just getting my scan tool up again. At this point in time, I do see that there, 2108 present. CAN bus, no communication with ECB, electronic brake control module. Now, if I go out and into other modules, I have no communication with electronic park and brake, but on this one we have an actual lever. Something I'll probably deal with, but I'm not going to deal with it right now. I don't believe that is what's causing our problem. So what are we looking at? I'm going to look at a little bit of live data. We're going to, in the immediate, I'm going to have a look at airflow, EGR, and maybe boost pressure, so manifold absolute pressure. So airflow system, exhaust gas circulation system, and manifold absolute pressure. That's where I'm going to start, and we'll see where we end up. Might not be fantastic for the masses, but it's a car, and there's a lot of these yokes on the road, and someone might get stuck with this thing, or one of these same problems. Just to show anyway, I'm rolling through live data, not a huge amount in here, which is good, because at least we can, you know, fix this thing. What I am seeing here, so we've clutch switch there, and we've brake switch just above it, but we're just going to look over here. So I have the clutch pedal pressed, active, inactive, active. That's my leg moving. When I press the brake, at no stage do I get that to change. Now I do know, and I am aware before I pull this out of the workshop after fitting that ABS control module, that I do know I have brake lights working on the back. So we are seeing brake lights. Is that integrated with the module being slightly different? Or is there 2 contacts inside in the actual brake switch? One of them is working for the lights, but one of them is for information to the scan tool. And you know, sometimes if you try to press the brake while driving, it will take throttle response away from you. So that maybe is a little telltale for me. So I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I'm thinking in the immediate I'm going to be chasing after some of these. So if I'm looking at airflow, 34 kilograms per hour, don't know if that's right or wrong. Not able to keep that many numbers in my head. Boost pressure command 85%. Must have a look at that and see if that's changing. Do we have a wastegate wide open or something? Boost pressure at this point in time 100 kPa, which is quite right. That's atmospheric pressure. And I've also brought up, and I'm trying to get rid of the glare, guys, so that's the angle thing. EGR position command exhaust gas recirculation 45%, and then here we have EGR position feedback. So that's the feedback coming back to the engine ECU from the EGR valve via the potentiometer on the EGR valve. Okay, EGR valve is going to have 5 wires, 2 for control, 3 for potentiometer, 5 volts ground signal. Okay, we're going to graph these and just see. Do we have too many in there? Okay, we have too many in there. Okay, merging is supported for the following items. I'll just say okay. Right, so what we have in here now is we have mass airflow, boost pressure, blah, 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 blah. I'll drive, I'll record this, and we'll run through the recording in a second. Okay, I've changed my frame of thought a little bit. I'm getting in the accelerator position there as well. Mass airflow, boost pressure, and EGR recirculation voltage, okay, or the feedback. If I snap the throttle, we're going up to 3,500 RPM. We're going to freeze. So our EGR is sitting about 1. I don't know, 1 volt. I don't know if that's slightly open or not. I would have said normally around 0.5. Have seen certain yokes to be around 1, so I could have an EGR valve slightly open. Boost pressure has risen here slightly to 150 kPa. Would like to see on a driving car maybe 2.4, 2,400 kPa. Would that be right? 240 kPa. Sorry. 2,400 HPA. Mass airflow. Again, don't know the numbers, whether that's right. We have 140 at this stage, and we have our accelerator wide open. So we're going to go back a little bit and just see these numbers changing while we're actually on the throttle. So we go back. Our EGR valve at this stage was slightly open because we were idling, and then when I went to take off or press the throttle, here our EGR valve, which is the kind of luminous green, dropped. So that in theory closed to the 1 volt, but is it fully closed? I don't know. And as I said there, we do have mass pressure. I'm going to get back. Do you know what I might do? I'm going to show you once again me trying to take off on the flat, okay? That's it, I'm bogged out. Foot to the floor there, just won't go, okay? I'm going to disconnect an airflow meter there and just see what happens. Do you want to stay on? Will we stay on? Stay recording. It is an older beast, as I said, but just see what happens. If I know EGR valves, and I also know that airflow meters on these do give a bit of trouble. I'm going to disconnect that. I'm going to create an airflow fault. We have time belt synchronized, actually, by the way. We have good fuel pressure, so I'm going to just try once again with that disconnected and see what happens. Okay, airflow meter disconnected. So my airflow numbers are gone down to, where am I going? Actually 0. We can see it here. Accelerator pedal is at 0. Now, it doesn't take off wickedly fantastic, but we have some boost back. With fuel light on there now. We're back driving again. We couldn't get over 30 kilometers an hour. This is stupid and easy as an airflow meter. We better cross-reference our the numbers that I'm seeing. And also, I have one of these vans in Alan, actually, from Diagnostics. Check out his video. Good guy. Works for me there. And he has one of these. He's a Renault Trafic, but one of these vans we can cross-reference to airflow meter numbers if needs be. But that is it. I think we are, in theory, back to being right. I'll get a cross-reference from the other car and see where we end up, okay? Back in Alan's Renault Trafic. We're going mass airflow. Sitting at 38, sitting at 34, I believe, on the other one at idle. I froze an image at 3. Whoa, sorry. If I press the clutch, it holds it at 3 grand. If I leave the clutch off, it goes above. I've seen that before. At 3,500 RPM below on the side of the road in the other car. Okay. At 3.5, okay. We had 140 on the other airflow meter. I'm just going to see what our... So the airflow meter being disconnected has made this car run, or the van run better, the other one. And we've just seen that our kilograms per hour at 3,500 RPM are about maybe 70 or 80 kilos per hour slower or lower. I'm going to just check this. I'm going to stall the car out to see what happens. Key on, engine off. Okay, yeah, with 1.8 volts here on this one. Alan has done a lot of videos, I think, on this car doing, you know, airflow meters, EGRs, blah, blah, blah. But that's reading 1.18 volts, so I'm not concerned with my EGR. And by disconnecting the airflow meter, it has just made it run better. So I think we're going to be going after an airflow meter purely, simply because at 3,500 RPM in the screenshot, with 140, and we are seeing 220 at 3,500 RPM. Now, what I did want to show as well is brake switch. Press the brake, active, brake off, inactive. Press the brake again, active, give it off, inactive. So I don't know if that is maybe potentially a brake light switch or what. I'll prove that to myself maybe in a little while, but I think we're just as pure, simply and easy looking at the airflow meter here, guys. Okay, guys, airflow meter ordered and in hand, hella unit. But then in saying that, the actual item that came out of it is only a hot film airflow meter. So I could potentially have tried cleaning it. Didn't really feel like it. But then I see on that one, that's a header as well. So it's a relatively good unit that's coming out of it. Either here or there. I'm going to fit the new one. There's only two little 27 or 30 Torx in that way in a duplicate. You can see it right, lives right in there. So it's relatively easy to get at. I did take out the air filter just for the pig air and just to be sure at a starting point. Not so bad, relatively clean. Going to renew it anyway. But for now, we're going to put in the air flow meter, tighten it up, put in the air filter, and then maybe there's a bit of a part cannon there. I didn't back probe anything here. I'm just going with familiarity, and I'm hoping that the airflow meter is going to fix and resolve this thing. But I'm going to fit it in and just see what happens. Airflow meter fitted. I've erased faults in there because we had created two or so, well, an intake air temperature and an airflow meter itself. I just, at this stage, looking at throttle pedal, engine speed and mass airflow. We'll give her a start and we'll just see what happens. So we were looking for, at about 3,500 RPM here, we had 140 prior. And we're going to still have the same. It seems to take the throttle there straight away in the immediate. It's revving anyway. Right, we're bringing it up to 3.5. And straight away, 3,500 with 260. We had only 140 previous, and Alan's Renault was very similar to what we're seeing right now. We're going to go out, going to close the bonnet, give it a little fast drive, and as Ivan then would say in Pine Hollow, place your bets now. So I'll get out and shut the bonnet, I'll reverse out of the workshop, and we'll just give it a little fast road test and see. I suppose the proof will be in the pudding, whether it'll work or not. Okay, time for our road test. Accelerator, pedal position, engine speed and mass airflow. Accelerator position 0, RPM 800, and then 71 kilograms per hour. Actually, that was around 34, I believe, at idle before, wasn't it? So we're going to give it a little bit of a spell and just see what way she acts through the gears. Or she is taking throttle response far better than it was anyway. So we'll just put out of here. Okay. Voila, we are back. We have a growl of a wheel bearing going on here, alright? Well, she's acting as she should. We're up to 60, 70 kilometers there now in the relatively immediate. How small, how fast, how easy that was. We've seen the live data showing our increase in airflow kilograms per hour, and now the proof is in the pudding that I can do. Honest to God, I couldn't do 40 kilometers an hour. So how small, how fast that is, that it would come back to being, you know, better than where it was. Just going to pull in here for a moment. Do I do a light or do we have a light? We have no light inside in the car, so I don't know if you can see me. Can you? We'll get this thing might glow up on my, or glow at me some way. Yeah, that's it. That was a pretty fast, pretty easy, pretty stupid video maybe, but simplistic. So if someone has no power on one of these things, the first thing I'm going to suggest is to disconnect the airflow meter. What happens then is the engine ECU goes into default, and by going into default, it ignores the readings that are there for the airflow meter because it has none. And what it does is it kind of calculates its own numbers. And then if you get power back, well, lo and behold, it's kind of airflow related. So a good test for anyone is to just disconnect an airflow meter, see what happens, and off you go from there. I was going to say voila. But yeah, for this one, lads, I hope it helped someone, and you might get some bit of something out of it. I don't know. There's no life lesson in it. It's all very simple. You could potentially try and clean that airflow meter, but in this case I didn't. I just changed. Yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Please like and subscribe if any of my hints and tips are any good to you, and I'll talk to you all in the next cartoon. 2006 Opel Vivaro 1.9 diesel, no power whatsoever. Guys, talk to you all in the next cartoon. See you later. Peter Kennedy signing out. See you, guys.